Hello everyone, Milknit here again, LOL. And welcome to another top 10 video. This time, aside from being thirsty for Ocarina of Time NPCs, this time I'm going to go through my top 10 favorite Dynasty Warriors characters. The Dynasty Warriors series is a franchise I hold dearly, as I spent many a time in my younger days playing these games a lot, especially 3, 4, and 5, and in some aspects 6. Well, the Empire's version of 6 anyways. Ever since, I've still played the series up to the absolute suckage that was DW9. Seriously though, Koei, as much as I like innovation and changing a series up, I don't know what the heck you were thinking with that mess in hindsight. Tirade aside, you get the picture. I've played up to the latest installment. Oh, and no special rules for this list this time around. Anyway, here's my top 10 favorite Dynasty Warriors characters. Also, I'm aware that text-to-speech is going to butcher the names of these characters, LOL, so enjoy. At number 10. Yuan Shao. A low-born noble who took up arms against the Yellow Turbans. His charisma is so cool to me in the earlier games, as he is noble yet kind-hearted, which is a great contrast against Dongjuo in that arc. His later designs and character changes in the later games have him to the point of fancy nobleman parody. However, the arrogant and corrupt part of him in these iterations are hilariously extra and funny to me. I like his moveset also, as he has always used a sword in a saber fencing style which goes well with him. He also is a catalyst for a hilarious clip that I will include much later in the list. With that said, this kind-hearted noble who soon becomes an arrogant corrupt Joker-like parody cements his low-tier spot. At number 9. Zhang Chunhua. The wife of the fabulous Sima Yi. Great design in Dynasty Warriors 8 and a fun moveset. Personality-wise, her smile is great and her relationship with her husband is amusing to me. From what I read on Wikipedia, their historical records show that their marriage was an unloved one, with Zhang Chunhua intimidating Sima Yi by outwitting him. LOL, absolutely hilarious. But for sure, her resourceful nature is something we can all admire. Her moveset in Dynasty Warriors 8 is the best to me, as the wired gloves are unique and make her memorable to me. Didn't care for the whip weapon they gave her in 9, as it seemed uninspired, and well, Diao-chan is the best whip waifu. Also, her chemistry with Wang Yuanji is great, as she trusts her more than her own sons. LOL. Guess even she is wise to those top-tier strategy Sima Yi genes. At number 8. Lu Lingqi, aka Ryuriki. The unnamed daughter of Lu Bu, Koei gave her the fictional name. She's a fun character to play in 8, well, the Extreme Legends version of the game. Not a lot is known of her historically, which naturally had given developers Koei a chance to do some creative things with her character. Like giving her the crossed pikes, which was Lu Bu's moveset in Dynasty Warriors 6. A stroke of genius in a way, since it establishes that she is Lu Bu's daughter, so it's not too much of a stretch to imagine Daddy Bu training her to use them. Her weapon in 9 is a sword and shield. LOL. At least the crossed pikes make some level of sense. The sword and shield combo in 9 is so generic and is already occupied from Xingxiai. Another reason I like Koei's interpretation of her is because she shares the love of battle much like her daddy. However, there is a level of nuance to her character in being wary of being isolated and alone. Which makes a lot of sense considering all the traveling she did with her father, uprooting her from place to place. Also, her level of mutual respect with Diao-chan is a nice touch. Her character design is simply great too, much like her daddy with some good headgear, but I like the fact that it isn't too huge and looks sleek, which matches the rest of her look with the cool armor. Honestly, it seems like Koei made her in such a way that she takes inspirations from her papa, but she is nuanced enough to stand out on her own, which is chef's kiss. At number 7. Sima Shi. Yes, the patronizing older brother of Sima Zhao and the son of the innovative Sima Yi. Sharing the same meme-worthy laughter of his pops, I like Sima Yi's design and character in Dynasty Warriors. Appearing in the 7th iteration of DW, he used a rapier that is a little similar to Yuan Shao's. However, his weapon in 8 is easily his peak weapon, as it is the lightning sword, a huge overly long blade that he swings around with such elegance. His tendency to be childish in small petty matters is another quirk that makes him extra and unique enough to stand out to me. I also like his chemistry that he has with his brother, as their relationship reminds me of Dante and Virgil from Devil May Cry 3 when they briefly teamed up. In actuality, this is totally what the Spada brothers would look like if they were to put their differences aside. Even Sima Zhao's characterization and laid-back nature and moveset screams DMC3 Dante. Even though Saimush's run in the Jin Kingdom is only a mere 4 years before his passing from declining health and illness, it's his memorable traits and presence that stand out, and that's why he's earned this spot on the list. At number 6. Yu Ying. The waifu of the Shu Kingdom as far as I am concerned. Historically not a lot is known about her, other than the traits of her being intelligent and as well educated as her husband, Zhuge Liang. In the same historical records it is said that she was an ugly-looking woman, which I think is hugely disrespectful. I reckon those dent-head critics were just jealous and fearful of her smarts. Historical slander aside, she looks awesome in the games and has had different weapons throughout the series. I also don't approve of the removal of her glasses in 9, as the glasses made her smexy. Going as far back as Dynasty Warriors 4, she has used a side that was also carried over in 5. Koei then gave her a bowblade arm weapon in 6, which was pretty unique. I like this weapon as it makes some level of sense on a tactical level, considering that Yu Ying engineered certain battlefield armaments. I'll go into those in a moment. They then gave her a dagger axe combo weapon in 8, which is pretty much a reskinned scythe. In the Empire's game she goes back to the arm blade crossbow. Now let's get on to her being the inventor and engineer of the 2 most influential battle inventions. The Juggernaut, a golden tiger-shaped battle cannon that can spew out flames. This thing alone puts her on the list for me. Many battles she uses these things in DW and the Orochi games. The wooden oxes are okay too, they just logistics transports, and well, logistics are important in any kind of battle. But yes, the smexy adorable Yu Ying is a force of nature in her own right, further complemented with her husband who is also a master strategist. Also whenever I play Empires I always make sure these 2 are on my roster. At number 5. Sun Ce. The eldest son of Sun Jian, also known as the Little Conqueror. It's unfortunate that he dies fairly early in every DW game lol, but well, it's historical after all. His brash, energetic and outgoing nature is a nice refresh from his younger brother Sun Quan. I also like his chemistry with his friend Ju Yu, who was also his key strategist. Also the later games introduced his wife Da Chao, who lived on to carry his legacy. Also his kinship and little rivalry with his little sister Sun Shangsheng is great, especially in the later games, apart from 9 lol. And it's a shame it's short, but it's a treat to see unfold. Moving on to Sun Ce's weapons, his moveset and weapons have been pretty consistent going as far back as DW3 where he first appeared. He uses tonfas to fight, which matches his energetic fighting style, like for real the guy plays like something out of a kung fu movie, which is epic in its own right. There was only one time they changed his weapon, which was in 6, they gave him a spear in that one lol. Can see why they went back to the tonfas, as there is enough characters that use spears lol. In any case, the Tiger of Wu's eldest son deserves his place here. At number 4. Cai Wenji. Historically a wonderful woman who composed some great compositions. 7 of them in fact. Originally she was kidnapped by some horrible nomads who knew about her family's musically talented history. She was saved by the great Cao Cao. Best part is that Cao Cao worked with her to revive her late father's music works. Amazingly, this proves and shows how amazing Cao Cao is to be a patron saint of the arts and appreciator of such great music. Something I can definitely relate to, as music preservation is a topic that's a big deal to me. The games design her as beautiful as ever, with such grace and elegance as she uses her harp to ward her enemies into a funeral dirge. She appeared in a Musou raid game, however me being a Western weeb I couldn't play it and got to experience her debut in DW7, her weapon has always been a harp since. She used a strange looking instrument in the Musou raid game though, kinda looks like a shamisen. The harp is the better choice though, as it is universally more recognized. In the games she is portrayed as humble and tranquil. She is the muse for many fighters in the Wei Kingdom, and that sentiment echoes really well. As music can be such a powerful tool for inspiration. Though she does battle in the games, she is not a fan of battle and prefers peace. Needless to say, the games make her the kind of soul that must fight when it's the right path to peace. Also a little fun fact, in DW7 her alternate outfit is a Japanese school uniform, however it is in line of a school's dress code. I feel that Koei did this on purpose to show that Cai Wenji is a person of modesty, which makes this outfit good fan service that works with her character. Here's to her works further inspiring us all in the future. Cai Wenji instruments her place. Also I will leave 2 links in the description of this video showcasing one of the songs she worked on, as well as a biography video that is worth a watch. At number 3. Koei. A great character who made his peak debut much later in the series. Scouted by Zhuge Liang, yes that Zhuge Liang. Koei opposed the later forces of Wei up until his passing. Personality-wise he is hot-blooded but has a formal side to him that he strives to be a perfectionist and a professional. I love his character design in the games. He easily would be Zhao Yun and Liu Bei in one person. At least early on anyways. However, it's unfortunate that he warmongers after Zhuge Liang's death. This however adds more depth to him and shows that how grief can truly affect someone deeply. His weapon that he uses in the games is a double-sided trident in the more modern installments. He used a generic-looking spear back in DW3 and onwards to 5. It's kinda sad that he didn't come back for 6, but then again Koei would have probably given him something totally unfitting like a giant steel club or something lol. He returned in 7 using the same spear. It wouldn't be until 8 that we truly got the double-edged trident. This easily sets him apart, as for years he was often called Diet Zhao Yun. Overall a good character from the start, but even better as the series progressed and gave him more nuance that sets him apart. At number 2. Sun Shangsheng. Yes, the younger sister of Sun Ce, and Sun Jian's daughter. She is 2 on the list because she is a great cinnamon roll. Historically she married Liu Bei and trained her maids in her style of martial arts. Though she didn't have any kids, I like to interpret that the maids were like children to her. In the games Koei takes some liberties with her relationship and marriage with Liu Bei, making their bond closer and more in line with Hollywood romance fiction. I guess you could say, they romanced the romance of the 3 kingdoms. Yes, I know that was awful, but it sounded better before I typed it out, honest lol. Personality-wise she is a tomboy that kicks a lot of ass, and is loyal and loving to her family and husband. This same love stays the same even when she marries Liu Bei until he eventually clashes with her surviving older brother Sun Quan. In the games this ongoing rivalry is quite engaging and is well presented, with her trying to talk sense into Sun Quan over Lord Liu Bei's philosophy and ideals. But Sun Quan becomes an edgy boy and becomes big mad over time. In a sense he comes across as rather bitter in the later parts. Overall I liked this arc in the games quite a lot. Now on to her weapons in the series. She has used chakrams, ring blades since the 3rd game and onwards. Naturally, with usual expectation and Koei being different lol, she used a bow in the 6th and 7th game. They would later go back to the ring blades we all know and love and incorporate her bow as an alternate special attack mid-combo or aerial Musu move. This variation of the 2 weapons being mixed is my favorite since she is called the archery princess after all. But she was competent in martial arts also, so her using the chakrams reps that well too. Overall she has great staying power and is forever memorable in my mind when it comes to the Kingdom of Wu. She hits a bullseye for her place on the list. Before I get on to the number 1, I just wanted to say thank you for watching and making it this far. Now at number 1. Lord Cao Cao. LOL, not exactly a surprise, right? Well, there's many reasons why I like Cao Cao so much. Although the games do portray him with a villainous side these days, I still like him for the amount of amazing memes and great ideals that he has brought us. As well as his crafty and unpredictable nature. Like seriously, this is one poker player you don't wanna go up against because he'll play you out of your hand before you've even said draw. Another thing that makes him admirable is that he doesn't give a cluck about status and old traditions. This is based AF. And he only cared about a person's achievements and skills, they had all of which make the measure of a man or woman. This in itself makes him an agent of change and rebellion against the status quo. I also gushed on earlier in this video of him restoring Cai Wenji's father's compositions. That in itself speaks volumes about Cao Cao's character. Dude is also a huge ladies' man, even made advances on his son's wife, LMAO. There is also another reason why I like Cao Cao so much, and it's because of this clip from the 2010 Three Kingdoms adaptation. Roll the clip.
袁绍，我如果是你，就绝不同曹孟德议和，只会给他筑一座青石大坟，因为 只要曹孟德一息尚存，他就战无不胜。
There's so much going on in this scene alone, and the delivery is so hilariously goofy that it bleeds into the lesson that Cao Cao taught Yuan that day. To sum it up, Yuan Shao had an advantage of a bigger army with a flat plain, a perfect place for a large army to battle against a much smaller army. Yuan Shao set out at the 5th hour where the sun would be to the rear of his army and at the front of Cao Cao's army. Cao Cao then had this chat over tea in order to piss away the time so that the sun would be behind his army, and buy time for his elite soldiers to get behind the army of Yuan Shao. Yuan Shao was too stupid to realize this. Absolutely hilarious. Cao Cao won a huge battle by essentially having tea and a chat. LMAO, absolute chad of a leader. Also, the little run at the end of the clip is like the cherry on the top of a cherry bake well. It's chef's kiss for sure. The actor did a fantastic job portraying him in this adaptation. Seriously, check out the other clips. Guy has such great presence and delivery. Now on to the weapons that Cao Cao has used in the games. He has used a sword ever since the start of the series, even back when the series' first outing was a fighting game. Yes, the first game in the DW series was a fighting game like Tekken and Soul Calibur. Cao Cao's weapon and move set is great in the later games. If anything, it's character and memorable moments leading the kingdom of Wei that make him stand out more than his weaponry. In essence, Lord Cao Cao rules supreme. And that's the end of the list. Give me your thoughts and maybe post your own top 10 DW tier list in the comments. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.